systems. And our view at GSG is that arguably the most important system in our economy is the system that takes decisions on where we allocate our resources. And we know, and you know, that that system, like most systems, is full of inertia and difficult to shift. But the circumstances and the context are going one way, with increasing pressure and importance to this change. And I think the politicians and the class that I was part of for many years will increasingly recognize this, because the funding gaps are extreme, and the fundamental reality is there will never be enough public money. And therefore the political class will be increasingly interested in what they have to do to mobilize more private capital. And if you doubt that, the British government, when they had the G7 presidency, asked us at GSG to set up a task force to look at exactly this question. But Ronnie and others, and we've supported it in this community, said the context requires us to look further down the road and get faster to the ultimate destination, which is a world in which companies account, I would say, and governments as well, account for their impact in a meaningful way. And that goes beyond where the conversation is now. It's about putting a monetary value on impact and building it into financial statements so that climate is on the balance sheet, nature is on the balance sheet, because that's what moves us. Whether we like it or not, that's the world we're in, and that's the direction we're moving at. And this is enormously disruptive, because this is about a world in which those taking investment decisions, whether they're in government, investment committees, institutions, or in boardrooms, are increasingly accountable for their impact. And with that is an enormous transfer of power. And we shouldn't underestimate that. And I think this is coming, which is why we're incredibly proud to support this work. But what next? We've all been in situations where we all probably work in organizations that collect data, full of data, inboxes full of data, information overloaded everywhere. The challenge now is how to make people understand that this information, these methodologies are useful, relevant, and important, and are understood. And I think that is a role where GSG Impact, the organization that I'm very, very proud to chair, and the Impact Task Force that we set up, can play an extremely important role. We're doing it at the moment with where the debate is now, because we're helping countries around the world and our stakeholders around the world understand what disclosure means, understand what the ISSB is going on about. And we found that we can add enormous value in that respect. And we want to do, and it's Seb who will lead this work for us, to do the same in relation to impact accounting and understanding how these methodologies can be used. And you all know, because many of you are change makers, you know, you have to build the coalitions of the ambitious, the coalitions of the brave. And that's what we'll be doing, country by country across our network, 44 countries in our network, ecosystems in each country working together to break down the silos, to help facilitate that conversation about what is needed to allow the capital to flow into areas where it's most needed to have a positive impact and make an impact on the SDGs and the climate goals. And that's the contribution that we will make from now on.